Hey guys, it's me, Carly, coming at you with another video. And I want to talk about the Elseworld crossovers and why I don't think I'll watch them in completion. And just want to talk about why I'm kind of over these crossovers because just, yeah. So, anyways, I didn't. I pulled out a Supergirl during season 2 because of Mon-El and how they basically turned Kara into Clark. Like, she's a reporter and she dresses in plaid, which is fine, but like that's a Clark storyline. Like, Clark is a reporter. Supergirl doesn't have to do everything Clark does, except when it comes to powers. But let her find her own passion. Let her find her own interests. Like, it's fine that she's a reporter, I guess, but I don't really like her being a reporter because it's just. No. And then the whole Mon-El debacle, and Mehcad Brooks is an okay James Olsen / Guardian, and they really don't know what to do with. They don't know what to do with James. Like, at all. I mean, he doesn't really have any compelling storylines other than, like, that one storyline he had with the actor who plays Randall from This Is Us. That was a pretty decent storyline. And then you had Mon-El come in, who didn't want to be a hero. Stupid, boring, white Mon-El. Slave-owning, stupid Mon-El. Come in, who didn't want to be a hero. He was just, ugh. And I didn't like his relationship with Kara. And it's just, like, they don't know what to do with certain characters on Supergirl, so I kind of fell out of that. I do watch her scenes of the crossover because Melissa Benoist is adorable, and parts of the crossover I did watch were Oliver and Barry acting like each other. Barry getting jealous of Oliver waking up in the West Allen bed. I just loved it because Barry can't stand the idea of Iris waking up next to a man who isn't him. Like, he can't stand it, and I love it. He is so crazy about Iris. It's freaking awesome. And then, what else about the crossover? Oh, seeing John Wesley's ship in the old 90s Flash costume was pretty cool. Because, like, my name, and he comes in from Earth 90. And there we learn that John Diggle is actually John Stewart, aka Green Lantern. So that's pretty awesome, because that's another character I feel gets just totally screwed over nowadays, because all Diggle has become is like, oh, an Olicity cheerleader. Oh, she loves you. Oh, I love you. I'm like, ugh. Just no. Olicity just needs to, like, hurry up, get a divorce, and break up, and, like, either get rid of Felicity or make them, like, remove Felicity entirely. Because Felicity is okay when she's not on Arrow. She's tolerable, but then after last year's crossover, she was just, like, the absolute worst. Other things I enjoyed were Barry and Kara just making fun of Oliver, and we finally, after 4 to 5 years of asking, where the hell do these metahumans who get locked up in these meta-human prisons that Star Labs create. Where do they go to the bathroom? Where do they do their business? And finally Barry shows us that there is a toilet in those cells. It's like flipped up on the wall and you have to flip it down, so it's kind of one of those weird toilets. And so thank you, Oliver, for finally asking the question. Well, at least my cell had a toilet. And that was like, okay, we have a toilet. Can you shut up? Can you shut up now? I'm like, okay, well, shut up about that. But now, are the beds the same way? Do you have to pull out the beds? Do you have cots for them to sleep on? Because they're just in a cell with, like, no blankets and no pillows and literally nothing to do. And in that scene, Barry and Oliver get put in the pipeline prison, and their means to escape is to back up the plumbing system. So Oliver tells Barry how to break his thumb, or dislocate his thumb, and then to get out of the handcuffs. And then Barry explains to Oliver how to phase. And in that scene, Oliver was smiling and laughing at Barry's thumb. But I'm like, damn, he's actually smiling. And he's not being a broody asshole. Can we get more of that, please? Because he hasn't smiled in a while. And Oliver Queen, I really don't like him. And he's always so grumpy and angry at everyone else, and especially for things he's done. And he's just, I don't like him. So, yeah. And then when they go to Earth 38, which is Kara's Earth, they play Somebody Save Me. They play the Smallville theme song when going to Smallville, and of course Iris can't come, because I don't know what the problem is of why we can't include our leading lady into the crossover in all 4 episodes and utilize her. And I love Iris, I really do, and we're all constantly, Candace Patton and her fans are like us, we're always advocating for Reporter Iris. And then the excuses that, you know, the racist people come up with is that, oh, there wasn't enough room, she doesn't do anything, she sits behind a desk, we couldn't really accommodate for her skills, even though we got to see Lois Lane use like a Thor-related hammer. I don't know what the hammer is called, but it's like a solar hammer or something. And and we don't get to see Iris and Lois interact, which is a crime in the DC, okay? Like, you can't have like Barry and Superman, Barry and Clark interact, have their wives both be reporters, and they've never actually heard of each other. They don't go on double dates. It's so annoying. And then one of my favorite scenes from the crossover was when Barry is being Oliver and he's shooting the arrow, and then Oliver catches the arrow, which was a callback to season 1 of The Flash and season 3 of Arrow, and then the remote control arrows that hit Oliver in the back, and Barry was like laughing and joking around and being jovial, and he was actually acting like how Green Arrow should act. Like, Barry basically has all the traits that Green Arrow should have: empathy, compassion, a good, a sense of humor, and just is madly in love with Iris, that even the thought of a guy who isn't him waking up in bed next to her just gets him irritated. And Oliver is not like that. And then, of course, Barry being Barry, he's like, oh, I've been waiting 4 years to do that. And Oliver's like, you think my skills are a joke? You think that what I was joking around, and then Barry was like, well, I was a much better sport when you shot me. And Barry was like, no. Oliver's, I taught you. I shot you to train you how to case a joint. You shot me to get a laugh. And I'm like, well, duh. I'd shoot you too for a laugh. I mean, I didn't know you were going to get so pissed off about it. And then Oliver starts to, like, oh, what? You can't, like, do anything without your wife in your ear? And I'm like, shut the hell up, Oliver. Felicity's in your ear talking all the time. And then, like, I bet you can't go one moment without a sappy motivational speech. I'm like, you are the last person to shit talk West Allen. You were the last person to talk down to anyone because you're a hypocrite, and you're a crabby asshole because no one effing likes. I don't understand how anyone likes Oliver. And the fact that Iris said that Felicity called the bitch about Oliver, it's like, why is Iris still listening to Felicity bitch about Oliver? Didn't she get enough of that on her wedding day? And then Felicity and Oliver were the world's shittiest wedding guests last year. And I'm just like, ugh. So I didn't really watch the full crossovers. I did watch the Kara and Alex scene because they're cute sisters. And Barry's gonna die. Oh my god. Like, Barry's probably gonna die and Kara's gonna burn up there because they were gonna run around the earth or fly around the earth backwards to fix everything. I'm like, okay, could you run around the earth backwards again to save Laurel, or like do something to save Laurel, because that was another thing that would have been cool. And then seeing John Wesley Shipp back as the OG Barry Allen, because he comes from Earth 90, and it makes sense because the Flash show was on during 1990 and 1991 because it only went for one season. So it was really cool for John Wesley Shipp to reprise that role. And now I'm wondering what it would be like if John Wesley Shipp, the Barry Allen of John Wesley Shipp, met Jay Garrick and Henry Allen, and then they were with Grant Gustin's Barry, because that's pretty freaking cool. And Garrick is like, oh, and then Henry Allen did say that Garrick was his mother's maiden name. So it was pretty cool to see that Jay Garrick is Barry Allen. I wonder if Jay Garrick or like Garrick is Barry Allen's grandfather, because I think they are kind of related. I don't know how that would be though. So that was pretty cool. And now for my negatives. You didn't have Iris and Lois meet or talk about reporting or exchange tips on reporting. You shoehorned in West Allen. Like, you used West Allen as a big promotion and promoted Iris's portion of the crossover, even though she was going to be in one episode. I mean, it's fine that you promoted it, but the fact that you promoted it the most, but she was only going to be in one episode, is kind of disrespectful, because once again, you're paying your black lead female dust, and then you don't have Dinah Laurel Lance in the crossover as Black Canary. I mean, you showed a clip of her, but that was a pre-recorded clip. Although I can forgive it because You meant, well, I mean, you did mention her. Like, oh, maybe Oliver and Barry do need some time in jail. But I kind of forgive it because Katie Cassidy was preparing for her wedding. And also, congratulations, Katie Cassidy Rogers, or your full name, Catherine Evelyn Anita Cassidy Rogers. Congratulations on your marriage. I hope it works out. And I wish you the best. Because you're awesome. And also, your wedding dress. I saw a picture of your wedding dress. You look gorgeous. And I saw a picture of the wedding dress that Dinah Laurel Lance wears when she marries Oliver. And you look just like her. I swear you were Dinah Laurel Lance in another life. Anyways. And this crossover was yet again another Olicity Council session. Like, I'm kind of just over these crossovers because I don't like Oliver. I mean, he's tolerable when he's around Barry, but he is just not the Oliver he should be. And Tommy Merlin and Barry Allen made a better comic book Oliver than the Oliver that's on Arrow. What else? Oh, another positive is that they were making fun of Oliver, and Kara was like, wow, you really got around back in the day. And then Barry was like, oh, one time Oliver cheated on his girlfriend with her sister. Like, yes. I'm always here for a good Oliver Queen drag. Because it's pretty freaking awesome. And I don't know if I will watch the full-on crossover. I'm only going off clips I've seen because Mark Guggenheim runs them, and I don't know who the hell put him in charge because he is a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, but he is. And now, reasons I'm just over these crossovers is because it's like Iris is always, I mean, we know how great the West Allen relationship is, and I love being reminded of how great it is and how it is like the relationship standard to be measured by, because like Cisco was like, oh, did Iris knew that something was off? Well, yeah, it was like lover's intuition, but it's just, the West Allen moments were great, but we want more for Iris than just West Allen content. We want reporter Iris. We want Lois and Iris exchanging reporter tips to each other. We need Iris interacting with people outside of Star Labs, because like nobody interacts outside of Star Labs. And we need Iris to get some female friendships. And I know I keep saying that, but they need to make that happen. And another reason I'm so over these crossovers is because they hype up West Allen only for Olicity to piggyback off of it, like last year's crossover. And then Caitlin and Felicity's heart to heart was just kind of, it falls flat for two reasons. One, Caitlin has not had good luck at love. Her husband, Ronnie, and I put emphasis on husband because she does have one, or she did have one, and was in love with Ronnie, but she moved on so quickly to Jay. Like, I feel the need to remind people that Caitlin had a husband, because people seem to forget that. So, anyways, he died, and they had love and trust, and then, secondly, Emily Bett Rickards and Danielle Panabaker don't really have that good of chemistry on screen anymore, and I mean, they're okay, but, like, they are not the best actresses, I'm sorry, but they are just, Emily Bett Rickards' acting is just, and she cannot do emotional scenes. Okay, make that 3 reasons. And Emily Bett Rickards doesn't really like Danielle Panabaker because she goes out of her way to untag Danielle from tweets. And I don't know why Caitlin were in all 3 episodes of this crossover because the crossovers are super lame. Caitlin, CW Killer Frost, is a shitty character. They don't know if she wants to be a villain or a hero, and she's been retconned a bunch of times. And Killer Frost, from what I've heard, is supposed to be a badass. I mean, she gets knocked out every few seconds. Caitlin gets I swear to God, every 5 minutes, Caitlin is knocked out. And she gets taken out with a cold gun. I mean, and then, she's taken out by Nora Fries, the character is played by Stephen Amell's wife, Cassandra Jean Amell. And she was, like, she seemed to be mentally unstable, and she accidentally hit Caitlin with a cold gun, and Caitlin's like, "You cold bitch," and then turned into Killer Frost. And it's just, she is not useful, okay? She should not be a hero. She is not a relevant Flash character. And she was part of the Suicide Squad. Killer Frost, not the Caitlin Snow version, but Killer Frost has been part of the Suicide Squad. And they have half-assed her storylines. They don't know what to do with her. And, I agree with the term Elseworld So White. And people are mad at us West Allen fans for starting the hashtag Elseworld So White. Even though they're the same people that started Bring Back Original Team Flash as a way to exclude Iris, the black female lead. And they were coming up with, we gotta accommodate for everyone. It's like, no, Caitlin and Cisco, as much as I love Cisco, they are not important. Although Cisco has really cool powers, and they say that the excuse for Lois is that she's constantly putting herself in danger. And I'm like, okay, so is Iris. And Iris is basically written the same way as Lois Lane is. Reporter, adventurous, but it gets questioned. Isn't that interesting? It sounds about white. And, for next year's crossover, I don't want it to be another Olicity counseling session for the 50th time. Like, you're always unhappy with Oliver. You're always whining about him. You're always condescending to him. And Oliver is whining about how Felicity is whining about him. And he has to give a really long-ass speech to Felicity about how much he loves her. When all Barry has to say is, "You're my lightning rod, Iris. I love you. And no matter what mask I wear, I will always show you my true face." But Barry doesn't have to make a speech. His eyes just say it all. They communicate without words, and it's so gorgeous. And their communication is touch. And I just want Olicity to die. That ship needs to sink to the bottom of the ocean. Because it's horrible, it is toxic, and it is overrunning these crossovers. Because everything has to be about all-city drama, and I'm not interested in that. Like, people say that West Allen is a soap opera-ish show. Because at least West Allen, they have healthy moments. They have cute moments. All the city is drama. And Stephen and Mel, I don't care what people say or what people say about what the chemistry they have. To me, I don't really see chemistry there. And it doesn't help that Felicity behaves like a jealous teenage girl. And she's 10 years younger. Emily Bett Rickards is 10 years younger than Stephen Amell. And she kind of just looks fresh out of high school. And he's like a super businessman. And so they don't work. It's like watching Ian Somerhalder from, it's like watching Ian and, what's her name? Nina Dobrev, like Damon and Elena kissing, because Elena looks super young compared to him, and she is 10 years younger than him, and it just they look really weird together. He's like a creepy, he's like your dad's, he looks like your dad's best friend hitting on his friend's daughter. The dad's best friend hitting on his best friend's daughter. That's what it looks like. And it doesn't work. And John Wesley's ship deserved to be used better, because the 90s Barry Allen was basically used as promotion bait, which is fine. It's just, he looks good in the Flash suit. At least that Flash suit's better than the current one. Maybe get a new Flash suit, because it's fugly. I probably won't be watching the full crossover. I'll just stick to snippets and tell you what I think based off of those, because I'm really tired of these crossovers. They don't make sense. And I'm tired of important characters like Dinah Laurel Lance and Iris West Allen not interacting and not getting a lead. Oh, and by the way, Lois is pregnant with Clark's baby, so I don't know what that means. And Clark proposed. But I'm not really sure what the hell that means. And they didn't get interrupted. And they're like the most iconic couple ever. Even though I didn't really see much chemistry between Clark and this Lois. I mean, they were okay, I guess, but... And they casted a white woman, even though she should have been a woman of color, because Lucy Lane was a woman of color, but Lucy Lane was white passing. So anyways, guys, these are my thoughts on the crossover and why I'm over these crossovers. And if you're still enjoying these crossovers, good for you. I want these to do well, but if Mark Guggenheim's in charge and he makes another All City Council session out of... Oh! I forgot to mention, they fight Amazo. I don't know much about Amazo, but I do know they fought this character in the Justice League animated series, and his powers is that he can mimic other people's powers. He's one of the most powerful creatures because of how he can adapt constantly. And Mark Guggenheim went and fucked him up too, because, I mean, he absorbed Superman and Supergirl's powers. I mean, he should not have been able to been penetrated with an arrow. That was really dumb. And it was not. It was terrible. And I it was a little too easy to take him down. So anyways, those are my thoughts on the crossover. Didn't really, it was kind of just, yeah. I enjoyed the bits I enjoyed, and if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and have a good